Hey, what's going on, everyone? We're back again with the second episode of the Proper Podcast. You've got myself, Fadi, again, in case you don't remember from the first episode, and you've got Mike over there with that
Good morning, everybody.
beautiful American flag in the background.
Yeah, man.
This episode we really thought it was we thought we'd have this interview style going on just so that we you know a little bit of an icebreaker. We get people to know a bit more about us and cover off certain bits that we didn't manage to cover in the first episode and yeah, so it's going to be an exchange of questions between myself and Mike.
Yeah,
And obviously, when you give it a listen or when you give it a watch, just get back to us with any curious points that maybe we've not highlighted. But yeah, without any further ado, I'm gonna pass over to my co-host Mike, and feel free to fire away with any questions.
yeah. Before I get to the questions, though, I just wanted to let you all know we are on other platforms now. So if you check out my bio on Instagram at Mike and Dice, we'll leave it in the description below.
Yeah,
But we're on other platforms now, so you just don't have to check it out on YouTube anymore. So you can check it out on other platforms. So super excited about that. Also, if you possibly have the Anchor app, check it out on the Anchor app, the Proper Podcast. But other than that, we'll get this interview session started, and yeah,
let's get it.
yeah. All right, so I guess I'll ask the first question then, Fadi.
Go ahead.
All right, so you kind of touched on this last week, but you moved to England when you're 9. So where were you born and raised and all that?
I actually moved to the UK at 18, man. At 18.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No, it's cool actually. It's cool. It's cool that because some people actually, it's good that you brought this up. Some people do think that I grew up here mainly due to my accent.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty strong British accent, and there's a twinge of American in there. Some people notice it here more than in America, but
Yeah.
it's weird, man. So yeah, I grew up in Egypt, born and raised over in Alexandria. That's a coastal city in Egypt by the Mediterranean Sea. Pretty much 18 years of my life there, and moved to the UK. It was a collective move out. It was an individualistic. So it was along with the family, and it was there were several elements, to that. But primarily, I don't know again if you follow the news, or it was pretty much due to the predominantly like the whole political instability that took place in the region, the Middle East, back in 2010, 2011. So that was the main motive for the move.
Yeah, that's awesome. Your family saw that and decided to get out of it before.
In hindsight, it was quite terrifying, to be honest, to witness everything that took place around.
Yeah.
I feel pretty blessed and grateful, really, for how things worked out. So yeah,
for sure.
Been here since 18. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it hard for you to move? Did you know English, or I guess English? Did you know English prior to moving?
I did not know English at the scale that I know it. It wasn't a language that we use. Although in Egypt we learn it as a second language, we use it we never use it as on a communicative level, on a day-to-day basis. We never. It is just to learn what's in the books and go to whatever final exam or whatever and fill it.
So what's your primary language, or what's your first language?
It would be Arabic. And the interesting thing about Arabic is that it comes in so many dialects and so many, if you look at English, for example, you've got New Zealand, you've got Australia, you've got America, you've got here in the UK, and it's all English, but it sounds different. So there's different, like
different slangs too,
pronunciation. Yeah, definitely.
Because you'll say some words that I don't usually say, and then I'll say some words that you usually don't say. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. So,
But
it would be Arabic.
Yeah, well, we'll keep touching on those bases. But like growing up, did you play I don't know how Egypt's like? Did you play sports growing up? Like little?
Actually, I never like found myself to fit in. Like I couldn't. The system in Egypt, it's unfortunately there's only one mainstream sport in Egypt, and that is football or soccer to you.
Right.
It's people like that's what I like about America and the American culture is, and like even here, like in other countries, and I've seen that in America extensively when I lived there in 2015. Like people encourage their kids to partake in different sporting activity. Like you've got baseball, American football, you've got gymnastics, you've got it's, I don't know, like the boxing, like wrestling, you know, it's a countless, you know, the list goes on like the amount of, you know, there's different sports that you can take in, like team sports and stuff. But for me, I found myself like, I never really had a passion for football growing up, like you know, this is everybody's dream. Like in Egypt, like they want their kid to be playing football and rack millions and like make it, and like we've got this famous Egyptian footballer, Mo Salah. He plays here in the UK in Liverpool Football Club. They actually just won the Premier League for last season, and they won I think the Champions League the year prior, and so and he's considered now as one of the elites in the world. Obviously, he's not been on the scene for quite a long time, but he's like being compared, like it's like a success story out of Egypt or out of the Middle East. So this is what people there, like the parents, that they aspire to have their kids to reach like Mo Salah's level. Yeah. But I just never, and the system there, it doesn't really encourage you. Like there's nothing for you to, unfortunately, to embrace. Like say, if it's either you're into football or you
football or nothing really.
Yeah, football or nothing really. Unless you're like, again, it depends on like the social. There's like different sort of like segments.
Social classes, like
social classes, definitely.
So like rich.
Yeah, medium, if you're like all the way up, and really that's the thing. Like in Egypt, I think it one thing is like diminishing or almost non-existent right now is the middle class. So you either like, although some would disagree, but I think it's like there's a big gap between the super rich and the people that are classed as middle classes right now.
Right.
So unless you're someone there and like up in that like social class, and you've got like a certain desire to pursue a certain like, you know, sport or something, that you have, you know, the family can support you. They can, like, I don't know, like get you involved in like different clubs and like big clubs and stuff. And obviously that demands quite a bit of a spend. So,
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, that's quite a long answer, but no, not really. I didn't. I didn't have any passion for like football, which was like
sports.
Back then,
So I don't know if you want to ask the next question or if you want me to just keep going.
Yeah, let's flip things around a bit. So I'll actually I have an interest in finding out more about your upbringing, and so tell us about tell us a bit about how you sit in your family, and have you got any siblings, and what sort of upbringing have you had? We know that you're in North Carolina. Obviously, we mentioned in the first episode, but people would probably like to know where you grew up.
Yeah. So so I'm originally from New Jersey. So Central Jersey, some people say Central Jersey's not really a real thing. They say it's
Why is
either,
that?
well, like people debate it's either North Jersey or South Jersey. There's no Central Jersey, but
That's the
people from,
divide. There isn't.
yeah, but people from Central Jersey, they say Central Jersey's a thing. So I 100% agree with that, and I think Central Jersey's a thing. So
Yeah.
so just like you, I grew up in New Jersey till I was 18, pretty much, and then that's when I moved down to North Carolina. But I enjoyed growing up in New Jersey. I was 30 minutes from the beach, and then 40 minutes from New York City. So
Jersey Shore, right?
yeah, Jersey Shore.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, but
So what sort of like pushed for the move? Like what? So when you moved at 18 as well, what sort of like motivated your family to move from
yeah,
Jersey
all
to
right,
North Carolina?
yeah. So I have a sister. She's 2 years older than me. So when she graduated high school, she came down here to North Carolina to go to school down at East Carolina University.
Yeah.
And then, so in 2008, I believe it is, when like the economy like super tanked and
Yeah, the crisis back in 2008.
yeah, and so my dad unfortunately lost his job that he's been working for a while. So he lost his job then, and so he was going in and out of jobs here and there and there. And then my parents always talked about retiring down in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so
That's where everybody goes for retirement, apparently.
yeah, well, it's cheaper. So my dad actually found a better job down here in North Carolina. My sister was down here, so he moved on down here. And then when I got to become a senior in high school, junior in high school, looking for colleges and stuff, I actually was looking. My freshman year of college, I went to Western Carolina University, actually. So that's in North Carolina, but on the west side.
Yep.
And then it super cool schools. It was in the mountains, if you're into that, which I was, but I didn't have a car, so I couldn't explore and whatnot. So I was just like, I got to get out of here. So I transferred to East Carolina University. But back to your question, how the whole move happened, like, yeah, pretty much because my sister came, and then my dad.
She was the first to move. She was the first to spark the move. Tori was.
And then my dad came down here, and then I have a younger brother, 2 years younger than me. So they kind of felt bad. They didn't want to leave my brother. They didn't want to move my brother out of high school halfway through his high school career because of sports and friends and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So they pretty much just waited till he graduated, and then so 2 years after I moved down, 2 years later, my mom and my brother moved down.
Nice.
So we were kind of we were split between North Carolina and New Jersey for a couple of years there, but we're all down here in North Carolina now, and we all love it. Well, yeah. We all love it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful state, man. It's definitely has a special place in my heart, definitely.
Yeah, man.
So I guess my second question then would be, or my third question, I guess, it would be then, how do you feel about the whole atmosphere of what's going on right now? And I know you said you're not into politics, but it's something to definitely bring up, and nothing to delve into extensively politically. You don't have to share anything.
Yeah.
That is deeply politically based, but I guess, has it always been a situation like that? Because I'm someone that I would class myself as a minority.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, I'm not. And we don't want to turn this into like a racial discussion, but I've not had actually any experience, because I think sometimes things get out of place and stereotypical, and
right.
I lived in North Carolina, and I never had any discrimination against
Right.
being a man of color. So I don't know what's your take on the current events or what's going on right now.
Right. I don't want to go too far in detail because like I yes I have I have my opinion on some things, and then but I'm not super educated on all these topics. Like,
But you don't have to be, Mike. That's the thing. You're
yeah,
entitled
but
to your opinion.
yeah,
Oh,
well,
though
I
I know
am.
you on a personal level. I know you won't be offensive to people. You don't offend people, and I know that you're not someone who would be labeled by or who would be perceived to be racist. That's never something that
Right.
I
Which
perceive by you.
a lot of these things going on, like I think that the media is blowing it super out of like
I feel the same.
it's a lot of the media. Like the media is just blowing everything up, and it's just not good because everyone it depends on the camera angle, what everything like
Yeah.
you don't get the whole, they're not recording the whole scenario, so who knows what happened in that before that 5-minute clip everybody sees.
Yeah.
So like something could have happened there and then after that clip.
That's
But so
definitely.
it's crazy. It's a crazy times to live in America right now.
Are you affected by it? Like, I mean, where you live, your surroundings, your community, is that everything like sound and?
Well, my community, not per se, but so in America, there's the state, and then they go into counties and then towns. So the county I live in, yes, it's affected because I live in Wake County, which is where Raleigh is.
Yeah.
And Raleigh's the capital of North Carolina. So riots happen in Raleigh.
Yeah. And the whole looting and
right. So
this is something I'm totally against, man. I think you're right. The context sometimes is missing, and it's just blown out of proportion, and you never know. Again, I'm not into the conspiracy theories much, and it's some people say, oh, the media, certain people have agenda, on the run up to presidential elections, and
yeah,
but I don't know. I just feel for the people, man. I hope everyone.
Oh, yeah. But to me, I feel like we can disagree to agree, but like say, just for example, like you can agree with other things that I disagree with, but like I feel like we still can be friends. Like to me, I don't have to agree with you 100% to be friends with you.
Not at all.
And I think in America, people don't see it that way, to me personally. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I respect that totally, man. Some people take things too far, and it's my way or the highway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's tearing the country apart.
Yeah, definitely. No, I hope things get better soon, man. And because like I said, America has a very special place in my heart, and I hope to be back one day, and get to catch up.
Glad to have you.
Have our own little studio by then.
Proper nice. Yeah, swear down.
So yeah, I guess I think we sort of like went off topic a bit with like the
whole
nation and stuff. But I think definitely it's good. It's definitely good where we went.
Yeah,
and it's informative, insightful.
Good for a podcast. We're just talking, really.
Yeah, definitely.
But I guess it's my turn to ask you.
Go. I've been for a while now. Yeah.
Yeah, but so when you moved to England, since you didn't really know English at the time, was it like transitioning to the English culture from Egypt culture to English culture and not knowing English like 100%? How was it like hard to make friends, hard to catch up with the grade that you were in the school? And
it was a very difficult process at the start, and actually it was a bit chaotic. It wasn't pre-planned, and it wasn't it wasn't something that we'd envisaged would turn out to be the way it turned out to be. so we had like people that we know here and stuff, and you know.
Oh, so you knew people before you came?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, all right.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, like extended family and close
Right,
friends,
right. Oh,
like
okay.
that. So
I didn't know that. Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
but like I'm just looking back on it now, and it there are so many obstacles and headwinds along the way, you know, not just the language barrier, because I wasn't completely, you know, English wasn't completely unknown to me. So
Right.
obviously
Okay.
it took some time to adapt to be able to, like, you know, communicate effectively, and I still think it's a learn and progress, you know.
Oh, right. For sure.
It's definitely being polished up every single day, and I try and like use, for example, like things like reading and like even the little things like listening to the songs, the lyrics, and trying to interpret from like
Yeah.
Arabic to English. And obviously at work now, I work in banking, so I'm, you know, writing up emails back and forth and getting on calls every single day. So it's I'm not I'm not sort of like I'm not denying that that was a challenge, but the bigger challenge was, like you said, the culture shift, you know, the
Oh,
transition
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the
I had
Middle
friends
East.
from Africa that moved to the United States, and they pretty much did like it was kind of the language, but they would listen to like music and stuff,
Yeah,
and they would just
that's how it
watch
all came
video.
together. And
Yeah.
surprise, like,
Watch YouTube videos and
yeah,
learn.
I mean, honestly, like back home, it's definitely I used to get penalized quite a lot for how bad my English was academically to their standards, and I
In
was
Egypt?
back in
Back in
Egypt.
Egypt?
Yeah, I
Oh,
used to get. I never was seen as someone who had the brightness academically, and it was quite oppressive. And I hate to
right.
say that, I hate to admit that, but like young students, and I still think to this day this is like there's some structural reform that needs to take place in that country, because people are oppressed in terms of like the students over there. Like I used to get hit, always slapped, and you know
Right.
it wasn't humanitarian. You know, like I still think like back to situations like if you've not done your homework, or you get like they'll have like a little sometimes like wooden or like metal stick, and they'll like
Right.
hit you with
Oh,
it, and it's
really?
bad, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That used to happen here, but they got rid of that
This is
before my time. And
Yeah,
so,
definitely, man. And it's backwards thinking, and
yeah.
I'll say that every day, all day, and I'm just I'm feeling quite terribly bad for people that are still stuck in that, and I demand change. You know,
Right. Yeah, for sure.
tens of views, maybe the next 60 views, man. Maybe
Yeah, man.
share that with some of your Egyptian friends, and yeah, don't get me
Yeah.
in trouble. But yeah, no,
Okay.
I've always like spoken my mind here, and in that area, and yeah, that needs changing. But culturally, it was difficult, man. It was very difficult, like to the point that I actually wanted to go back, although it was quite like it was almost like life threatening going back to everything that was happening over there.
Right.
But I think it just like stuff came with time. So I got into like pretty much I got into employment within 2-3 months of like being here, and then I got into college.
Nice.
College
Yeah.
here, by the way, for the American audience, college
Yeah.
is pre-university. College is in university. So
Yeah.
I got into college for a couple of years. I moved
So,
from south, so I used to live in Brighton. Brighton is like down south.
mm,
Okay, it's close to London. And then I moved up here to Manchester, which is like in the northwest. And that again happened within months of the move. That really taught me to just like independently go about my business, and obviously a lot of people helped me throughout, and I'm ever thankful and grateful for their support and guidance, and you know, pointing me in the right direction.
how does university or university college for all these whoever listens did it work like in America? Like, did you live in dorms your freshman or your
No,
first year, second year? Or
no.
it
So
all
when I went to college, I lived at home. I actually still live at home.
right? Yeah. So do I.
It's not. It's really not. I think the university life and like the higher education in America, it's pretty like the experience itself. It's it's a lot different from what we
Yeah.
have here. Like, well, yeah, it's not as exciting. I mean, to say the least here. Like, you
Right.
have the option to live in halls or like to. We have something which is called Freshers Week. Freshers Week is that when you get into first year of university, you have this like Freshers Week, so that you like everybody's going out clubbing, and you know that wasn't really my scene. Like I do it every now and again, but it wasn't something that I like
Well,
indulge.
because you're well, going off topic for another question of mine, but you were into bodybuilding. Is that why you were into clubbing? And
Not really, no, but it maybe it did play a role certainly, because back then obviously I was a lot more into like working out and bodybuilding. I'm still working out.
as you can tell in Fabi's
you can
background there.
As you can tell from the background, this is actually there over there, that white picture there. That's Ronnie Coleman, who's 8-time Mr. Olympia. He's regarded as the greatest bodybuilder to have ever lived, and he's still alive.
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman. And he's signed that poster. That took me like 2 hours. He came here to the UK like back in 2012.
Was he walking? Because I know on that Netflix documentary, he's all crunched up.
Yeah, he was. He was actually still. I wish maybe when down the line we should be able to figure out how we can share pictures. You know how they have that.
Oh yeah. My dad said that to show pictures, and we'll figure that out eventually.
We'll figure it out. But yeah,
a learning process.
Yeah. It's only small steps, you know, small baby steps. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't the reason why I was in clubbing because of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It was just, it wasn't my thing. It wasn't my scene. I never. Again, I think it's just primarily a cultural thing and a personal thing as well. Like it doesn't do anything for me. Like going out, spending a lot of money on drinks to be. I'm not degrading. I'm not talking down people that do it. You know, if this is your type of fun,
because I know when you came to ECU where we met each other, like it wasn't like you went out with us every now and then, but it wasn't.
It was probably more frequent at ECU. Yeah. It was, and it was more frequent actually. And I'd never go out and be you know. Be out to the like early morning, or like it was just like, you know, to maybe have a drink or two with mates and stuff, and then you just like call it a night, and you like Sub Dogs afterwards.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Sub Dogs and
Sub Dog, man.
People over Sub Dogs. So yeah, it's just I'm gonna say it's uni life here, or university life. Uni is short for university. It's pretty dull in comparison to America. I loved it in America. It was the highlight, living on campus, having like people from like different, again, because I came in as part of the exchange program and stuff. It was quite amazing, man. It's quite the highlight of uni for me, really. How was it for you? How was ECU for you? Was it different than the older university that you went to, or was it pretty much the same?
Yeah, it was actually it was a lot different because Western Carolina it's a mountain school, so like you're out in the mountains, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and ECU you're like straight there in downtown Greenville. You have all those bars, and it wasn't like that at Western, which. Well, for at least my experience, but I do like, because I'm all about the mountains. I love mountains, but that scene wasn't right for me at that point in my life. So, excuse me, I'm happy that I made that move, and I don't regret transferring schools or whatnot. But yeah, I think ECU definitely, it was fun for me. I loved it there. Like all the people I met, like my roommates I had, the friends I met, super cool time.
No, definitely.
Loved it there.
I think we're getting close to the half hour mark.
Yeah. So for the audience, we're trying to keep these 20 minutes to half hour just so we don't bore people. Spill over. So we got 4 minutes just to say our goodbye words and whatnot.
Yeah. No, I think it was definitely a good episode.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. Like, we got we got a nice conversation going and wasn't too awkward.
No,
Yeah,
it's never
okay.
awkward, man. It's never awkward.
And then maybe next episode we'll get a friend on.
We'll get a friend down, yeah. Yeah, we'll that's to be confirmed, really.
Yeah.
But if you, whoever watches this, you know, this isn't. Although we thought we would take the opportunity to ask a couple of questions each for people to get to know us a bit more. If you feel that you want to know anything specifically that wasn't, you know, brought up, yeah, drop us a comment or let us know, yeah. Mike, or let me know directly. Let me know what your thoughts are. Give us a like, or don't hit the dislike without telling me why you dislike it.
We go live on Instagram every now and then. You can
every now and then,
we can hop on. If you hop on there, tune in. You can drop us a question there. We'll answer it live right there. So
definitely. And on that note, that little bombshell, we shall love you and leave you. Thank you, Mike, once again for being an amazing co-host. And we'll definitely figure out who to bring on next week.
Yeah, man.
And enjoy your weekend and see you on the next episode. Stay proper.
Thank you all. Stay safe. And stay proper.
Take care.
Take care.